Nothing can stop us!
He's like, the fuck you give me? Oh. The fuck? Oh, he had the same makeup as Floki there. Bien.
Bien.
Lárgate. Calf, Erlander.
Erlander. He's like, oh fuck.
We heard you took yourself away into the wilderness. Why?
I went to find someone.
Who?
Myself. I would not be so quick to celebrate. I have come for 2 reasons. First, to see my mother. Second, to take Torvi with me back to Kattegat.
You're talking about my wife.
She is your wife, and yet you treat her like a slave.
Tovi is free to make up her own mind. What do you want to do?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just tell them.
Very well. But you must leave the child. Guthrum must stay with me, huh?
No. No. I
That's
cannot
Jarl Borg's
leave
son,
him.
right?
And I refuse to release you from your vows.
If you want to go with my son, then go with my son. I will look after your child. We have one life, Torvi. So go and live it.
Ooh. You saw that, did you? King Yellow's like, the fuck is going on here, man? They're so open about it, all of them. The bounce in her step.
Yes, Father?
Would you join us?
I'm not hungry. Can I speak to you alone for a moment, husband?
She wants a quickie, doesn't she?
If you'll excuse me,
Your Highness.
I knew this was gonna happen, man. Even he knows. Oh boy.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
The eagle or the crow. That was a crow. Holy shit.
Queen Ozog, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Harald, but my people call me King Finehair.
A king?
King?
Then you're most welcome to our hearth and home.
By making myself king of all Norway. Then she would marry me for sure.
Whoa. Bjorn.
But in order to become king of all Norway, you would have to overthrow my husband.
Well, look who's back. Alive. And well.
The fuck out of my seat, bro. Oh, Bjorn, you can tell he's a changed man.
And you are?
Oh, man. Alright, man. Okay. I smell trouble, man. This guy. Alright, man. So, a new character. Someone that could be really problematic. You know, the moment he came in, you know, seems like he's going to be a problem for Ragnar and his crew. Not for Aslog, maybe. You know, the feeling I was getting here is that Aslog quite she found it interesting. She found this new person, this new king, Harold Fenrir, I believe. She found him really interesting. At one point, he kind of jokingly, like, actually, to be honest, it wasn't really jokingly, was it? You could tell he kind of means it, but he was trying to put it across in like a joking manner just to see how Aslog is going to react. You know, basically being the new king, and Ube and Aslog kind of, you know, exchanged looks as he said this. And then she said, if you plan on doing that, you're gonna have to overthrow my husband. You know, she didn't really say this in a defensive manner. This could be problematic, man. This could be problematic. This could present Aslog a chance, you know. I feel like she might see a chance here is she gonna jump ship secretly? Is she gonna, align herself with this new herald, King Fenrir? Because again, another episode and more tension. Ragnar and Aslog. Lots of tension, and I feel like this is what she was like looking for, a chance like this. I don't like, I don't like this guy. I don't like he has bad intentions. You could tell. I didn't like it one bit that he's sitting up there on in Ragnar's chair, King Ragnar's chair. And you can see Ube. He was kind of scoping him out, man. I really like him. He at a really early age, he's got like a tactical mind almost. He's always kind of scoping things out. He's always kind of looking around, taking things in. Smart kid. Bright future ahead of him, I'd say. But yeah, maybe this is the chance Aslog has been looking for. Maybe she's gonna jump ship secretly, maybe behind Ragnar's back. Maybe she's gonna aid this herald in overthrowing Ragnar. I don't know. Still early stages. They just showed him. I'm just I'm getting really far ahead, but I do feel like he has intentions to potentially oppose Ragnar and try to overthrow him. And Ragnar might be a little bit distracted at the moment. Idu. There's some dynamic going on here, Ragnar and Idu, and I liked it. I'll talk more about it. I like this whole new dynamic of Ragnar and Idu. Maybe Aslog sees this as a distraction. Maybe she sees this as a chance to distract Ragnar as she plots. I'm gonna have to see more of this guy, Harold. So far, he seems like trouble, man. He seems like trouble. Yeah, but you don't just come right in and, oppose Ragnar. You saw Bjorn, a changed Bjorn. That time he took off for himself. He's a changed man. You can see, man, just the demeanor. He's hardened. This experience has hardened him. So, he's not liking this. He's shooting daggers at this new guy sitting in Ragnar's chair. Alright, man, top of the episode. Ragnar. Yeah. First of all, stunning shot of him coming out of the water. Loved it. Just cinematography in this show has been, top notch. Like right from the beginning, from season 1. I just love it, man. Absolutely, gorgeous stuff. This is an interesting scene, man. I really liked all the scenes of Ragnar and Idu together. He tells Idu that he's so intrigued by death and that he can't stop thinking about death. I believe he says something like, death of family, death of friends, but my own death eludes me. Yeah, man. Beginning of this season, like 4 episodes ago, the opening shot of the season was him riding to the gates of Valhalla. So, and that scene basically directly leads into what he just said. My own death eludes me. In that first episode, the gates closed before he could enter. And he's really intrigued by death, perhaps the afterlife. He's got no fear of it, right? Who else is intrigued by death or was intrigued by death? Odin. Odin took his own life, hung himself, just so he can see what the afterlife is like. And he's open to the idea of death. There's another episode, remember, Ube goes to Ragnar, but Ragnar seemed disappointed, man. He even said, unfortunately, yes, I'm up, something like that. So, man, a bunch of episodes now, they keep flirting with the idea of Ragnar and death. And Aslog noticed this. She noticed that, Ragnar has taken an interest in Idu. She could see it. And I think she might use this. And she has, basically. She basically straight up told him, I've seen that you've taken an interest. I can make it happen, if that's what you please. I feel like she sees this as a chance. She sees this as an opening. Maybe Aslog is going to make her move soon. Let's talk about Aethelwulf, Ayla, Egbert, Judith, Quintrith. The first scene was kind of like a dinner or lunch or something at a table. King Ayla, man, he... this episode, for the first time in a long time, I got to see him actually do something or actually feel something. You could tell he was really uneasy. He didn't like what's going on here. First at the table, he didn't like the idea of like Ragnar and Magnus, you know, Ragnar's bastard son, and he made it clear again that he swore an oath that he's gonna, you know, get Ragnar. You know, he's gonna go after him for his unprovoked attacks on him and his people. And you know, Quintrith even said, oh, even his young bastard son picks up his cup and, you know, gives her that look. So finally, after a long time, Ayla is kind of coming into the fold, and his intentions are becoming clear. Ayla notices Judith and Egbert really, you know, close and joking around and getting really, you know, close and touchy. I'm not sure if you noticed Aethelwulf and Quintrith, but they were getting really touchy and close. And Judith in the background, I'm pretty sure she saw it. You could tell he didn't like any of this. He was just like, what the fuck is going on here, man? He's getting really angry now. You know, this episode really made it seem like King Ayla might be stepping back into the fold, you know, and actually doing something. He made it really clear that he doesn't like Ragnar. He swore an oath, and then he sees all this stuff that's going on. And by the way, they're being really, really open. So Ayla's looking at this, and he's going, "The fuck is going on here, man?" So I feel like Ayla's about to come back into the fold. You know, this episode really brought him back in. So Ragnar noticed that Ivar is kind of left out. You know, that Aslog has him to the side, and you know, he tries to get Ivar to do the same thing. You know, he wants him to feel included. He wants him to feel normal. He wants him to feel like the rest of the boys. That's basically what he told Aslog. But Ivar didn't really want to do it. You know, he got a little bit upset. And so did Aslog. You know, she took him out of Ragnar's arms. And, you know, Ragnar didn't like the fact that, you know, she's excluding him and, making him feel like he's different from the rest. She firmly believes, yes, he is different from the rest. And, you know, he's my responsibility, not yours. Ragnar, of course, wants him to feel normal. You know, he doesn't want him to feel excluded. It wasn't really anger, it was more frustration on Ragnar's face, because, you know, he wants him to grow up normally, have a normal childhood. But, you know, Aslog maintains that no, he's not normal. He has to be taken care of, and he's my responsibility, not yours. You know, a baby that was born different than the others, so she's really attached to him, right? She's really protective. That part, you know, totally makes sense as a mother, totally makes sense. But, you know, she took him to Floki. You know, now she's going behind Ragnar's back, and she wants Floki to kind of raise him almost and teach him how to be a Viking, and teach him how to hate the Christian gods. So she, you know, I don't know if this is a good thing, man. Is it a good idea to instill hatred into a young child like this? Actually, to be honest, I don't even know what Floki's take is on the gods right now. You know, it's been a long time since they've shown us Floki in relation to the gods and his beliefs. You know, it's been a long time since I've seen Floki talk about the gods. He just got released. He's a bit of an outsider this episode, you know, Floki the outsider. He was a little bit shocked. He's a little bit surprised, you know, you could tell by the acting. But he agreed to, you know, he gives a nod. So yeah, man, is this a good idea? Feels like teaching Ivar to hate. Probably not a good thing, you know. I just don't see any good coming out of that. Floki, you know, he feels like an outsider. And what seems like for the first time, he goes to the seer. Man. And the seer, his response is really interesting, man. This is probably the most interesting part of the whole episode. You know, the seer goes, "You finally came." And, you know, Floki's kind of confused at first. He's like, "What do you mean I finally came? I've been looking forward to this day for a long, long time." And the seer is like, "You know exactly what I mean." It was a strange scene, man. Really strange scene. You know, the feeling I got here is that, well, before I get into what I thought of the scene, Floki, after he said, "Show me who you are," Floki goes up to him, puts his palm out, and the seer licks it. And Floki, you know, he does his signature giggle. You know, it was like thing, you know, his eyes kind of rolled, and it's like, I don't know, like a transfer of power or something kind of happened there. So my take on that, it did kind of feel like a transfer of power. You know, maybe Floki is supposed to be the seer's replacement. Really reminded me of Bran and the Three-Eyed Raven from Game of Thrones, man. Bran had to become the Three-Eyed Raven. Like, he was a replacement. The Three-Eyed Raven knew this the whole time, that Bran's going to be his replacement. It's such a similar situation here. I feel like the same type of thing is going on here. Floki, you know, maybe Floki's going to be the new seer. That's my first initial thought here. You know, maybe he's going to replace him at some point. Or something bigger, something even bigger, man. maybe Floki, maybe Floki is even bigger than I thought, in terms of his presence. They showed me Harvard, right? So, this show has already established that, it can go the supernatural route. Is this alluding to the fact that maybe Floki is more than human? Maybe he's more than human. And he's realizing it as well, or like, I don't know. I just get the feeling that something big is about to happen. His story arc is about to take some kind of turn, some kind of really interesting turn based on this, this scene. I'm excited. All right, man. Rollo in Paris. Finally the breakthrough, man. It was clear that it's gonna happen sooner or later, but this is the breakthrough. They're trying to finalize the separation, and Rollo drops it, man. He's like, yes, I understand. And you can see clearly that was the first time Gisela was impressed. She even mentions that, of course I'm impressed that you've learned my language, but she still questioned him, by his loyalty, and is he ever gonna completely let go of his past? He offers her the ring, that's a big deal, really big deal. And he tells her once again that, he's fully committed to the cause, to her, to Paris. He was really able to impress her. There's that scene, he takes her to bed, they finally get intimate, and she was really into it, she was impressed by him. She comes in, big ass smile on her face, hair is bouncing, just this bounce in her step. She's enjoying life, she's in love, you could tell. And so is Rollo, I think, he's not faking this. It looked like he was indeed in love. Both of them are. So, she's like, oh, I need to speak to my husband. They go and have a quickie, really loud. All of them can hear it. So yeah, Gisela, Rollo, that's a done deal. They're tight now. And yeah, man, I feel like Rollo's gone. He's gone. He's all in. This is his life now. He's definitely all in. So I feel like there's no coming back for Rollo at this point. He knows this is his destiny. He even tells her, I know it's my destiny to marry you. Edu and Ragnar, one of my favorite scenes from the whole episode, man. Yeah, this, he takes her to the secluded cabin that's just for him. Just for him. He said something really interesting. He said, yes, this is my place. No one else has been here. This is the only place I don't feel alone. And he's got a lot of his animals here. There's been a few scenes throughout the series of Ragnar and his animals. They've used those animals as foreshadowing. A lot of times, he'll be handling like rats, he'll be handling snakes, and I feel like that's basically alluding to the fact that he just feels so different, that he's not the same as them. Again, I love this Edu and Ragnar dynamic, man. Really, really cool scenes. She prepared something for him, some kind of herbal medicine, and I feel like she can kind of understand Ragnar, because she's like, you're still hurting. He tells her, no, I'm not. But she goes to touch his head, she's like, in here, but he kind of flinches. But so she knows, like, in his mind, he's just, he's not at ease, he's not at rest, and she feels like this can help him kind of let go of some of that pain he carries inside his head, in his mind. And damn, does he go on a trip, man. Yeah, and then he goes on this psychedelic trip. A lot of crazy scenes going on. He kind of swallows a snake. I'm not sure if that actually happened or if that was just him hallucinating. There's some stunning scenes. There's one of him just swinging, back and forth, in and out of focus. There's this one of him just like on a boat, fire dance going, and Edu's got like a traditional Chinese like makeup. So it was a great scene, man, great scene, and I feel like it helped him. He looked rejuvenated. This is right before he asked the guy, and who are you? I felt like in that scene it was really trying to show us that, yeah, he's rejuvenated, and that this helped him, this psychedelic trip, this experience. Oh, and one last thing, Bjorn. Oh, so it looked like Bjorn was basically in the final stages of his inner search, soul searching expedition, trip, his soul searching experience, because he's packing up. It looks like he's ready to go home. But there was one final test, the Berserker. The funny thing is, a Berserker, outside of his, his furs and all that getup, he didn't look as big anymore. The first time they showed him, he had all this fur on. He looked like a big menacing dude, but in this, he just looked like an old man. To be honest, just a little old man. Bjorn took care of him, man. He handled him like he barely took any damage. I thought it would be, I thought it'd be more of like, yeah, Baron's gonna get his ass kicked a little bit, but he'll come out on top. And for anyone who knows Metal Gear Solid, it's legendary. That game is legendary for its boss fights, and that's the feeling I got here. So if you've played Snake Eater, the third one, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, there was a similar boss fight, against the legendary sniper at the end. The end would show himself for a little bit, and then he disappears, and you have to try to find him. So almost exactly the same type of thing going on here. Baron's boss fight. Now they didn't confirm if he actually got it out of him or not. Doesn't seem like it because as he goes back, he's talking to Erlander and Calf. It didn't really look like he knows it's them. Maybe he has his suspicions, but it didn't really quite look like he knows it's them. But yeah, man, he like stabs the berserker, pulled out his guts. So that was his final test. He passed it, came back a changed man. He's got a bit of like a dead look in his face, cold look. She wants to go, but she doesn't want to give up the daughter. And Erlander's being a dick. He's like, nope. So you could go, but the daughter stays. But by the end, she does end up going because Lagatha's gonna look after the kid. So yeah, Bjorn's return is definitely gonna make both Calf and Erlander really uneasy now. Now they're thinking, does he know? And if he knows, how much longer before Ragnar knows? Now, do they speed up the plan? Do they try another angle to take him out? Because sooner or later it's gonna come back at them. So that's gonna be interesting. How these two go forward now. So really excited to see Bjorn and Ragnar together. Really excited to check out the next episode because a lot of exciting things are going on here. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed it, please smash that thumbs up, leave your comments, let me know what you guys thought. Check me out on social media if you're into that. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, I have a Patreon account. Thank you so much to all the patrons, man. There's been so many of you. All I can say is thank you so much. Really appreciate the kindness. Thank you. I hope to do episode 5 really soon. Take it easy.